Hello and welcome. In the spirit of my brand new book, The Delicate Art of Transformation, I've been on a quest for truth. What does it actually take to create real, lasting transformation? And here you are on the precipice of something big. I don't think that's a coincidence that we should ignore. Welcome, my friend. Welcome to the True Transformation Summit. This is where true growth and transformation happens because sometimes it's about your mindset. You're working on your thoughts and your beliefs. Sometimes it's about connecting deeper with your body. Sometimes it's stepping into success and rewiring yourself for wealth. And sometimes it's a spiritual one. But when the right person says the right thing at the right time and it all clicks, those are the moments that make all the difference. And that is what this summit is here for. You're going to hear from some incredible experts who every single one I personally invited to be here because each of them have made an impact in my life. So listen with an open heart, do what they say, take what resonates, try the practices, get their free gifts, and let this space be the place where you find your next step. My name is Talia Joy. I'm your host. And if you want all the free gifts, the resources, and the only place where you can be entered for prizes, you can join the Insider Circle for free below. All right, without further ado, take a deep breath in. Think about what you are transforming, what you are here for. And let's dive into today's episode. Hello, KC. Welcome to the True Transformation Summit. How are you doing today, my friend?
Yay! I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be here with you. And I'm so excited that we get to chat. I feel like we haven't seen each other in so long. And so catching up is always so beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. I am so happy for this conversation and just to be in your energy to share with everybody listening. And I invited you because first of all, I mean, Kundalini Queen, if you already know KC, you know, and it's not just teaching about Kundalini though that I see in you, it's that embodiment. And that comes with everything we're going to talk about today. But really, you talk about leadership and business and standing out, but it's also being in your energy and that life force and nurturing yourself, and you really walk the walk. And, it's been so powerful to learn from you. I've been in your programs, live events, etc. So I just really wanted to have a slice of your energy in this summit. And so thank you again for coming. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, these are the topics that I'm like, I could jam literally all day on them. So let's go. And, when people say like, you're so embodied in this work, this is one of those things where how could I not be? Because it truly changed my life. And I think, for anybody listening who is an entrepreneur, visionary, whatever it is, the work that you're doing, being embodied is so easy when the tools that changed your life, you just continue to go back to them over and over and over again. And you deepen that experience with yourself. And I think success, like when we talk about, success and what is the cheat code, continue to deepen the embodiment of the work that set you free over and over and over and over and over again. So yes, I could talk about it all day long.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's always new layers. It's like the wiser we get, the more we know nothing. The farther into the work, we know that there's going to be more layers. And if we're okay with that, then we can use those tools you're saying and continue moving through. Yeah. This is going to be so good. So let's start at the beginning. If there is anyone that's new to your work, I just would love for you to share a little bit about who you are and the work that you do.
Yeah. It's the question, right? The golden question.
We got to start. It's the foreplay.
I'm so multidimensional and multifaceted. How do I share one thing?
You can start by your astrological sign or human design, whatever you feel expresses you.
All of them. Well, I'm a Taurus sun, Virgo, like everything else. I have a lot of earth, obviously. 5-1 projector. And my middle name is Peaches. That's kind of fun.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
I know. That's my party favor when I don't know what to tell. I'm like, my middle name's Peaches. It's very funny. It's actually my 30th birthday present from my mom, but that's like a whole nother story for another day. We'll have to have another podcast episode where I tell you all about that story.
The Peaches story.
The Peaches story of how I got my middle name for my 30th birthday. But yes, I'm KC Volard. For those of you who don't know me, I am the Kundalini Business Coach, and I have been teaching business now for over a decade online. I started out in the health and wellness industry. Also teaching, people how to build businesses in the health and wellness industry. I built it to a multiple $1 million business, and through the burnout and through doing it the way that I was told that I had to, and wearing all the masks and trying to hold that level of success without understanding how to hold it in my body and listen to my body, everything just happened really quickly. And I think a lot of that business I built from, that secondary trauma response of, if I am successful, then I'll be seen. If I am successful, then I'll be validated. Then I'll be important. Then I will mean something. Then it makes my life mean something, right? And so it's just one of those hacks that I found in life where if I could be successful at something, then I would wear my worthiness around it on my sleeve like a badge of honor. And so I put everything that I was into building that business, and like everything that is, it's not that it was inauthentic. I loved the work that I did. I loved the work that I did and who I got to do it with. And the way that I was doing it was completely unsustainable. And the more I did something that was unsustainable and out of character, the further and further away I got from my truth and what made me feel alive and connected. And so about 6 years into that company, I burnt the company to the ground. I walked away from it and said no more. And I went on my spiritual journey, as we do. And I totally healed my body, my nervous system. That's when Kundalini really found me. I mean, I dabbled in it before, but I went all in because I had no other choice. I was so burnt out and my anxiety was so severe after I had my second daughter. And anyone who's ever had that level of anxiety or depression when you have little kids, when you have babies and toddlers, it's such a intense, like soul stifling experience. And I couldn't even get out of bed most days. And so when I say like burn this shit to the ground, it was not like a passive choice. It was so dramatic on every level. But I knew that I loved teaching business. And I knew that I loved teaching the body and mindset. And so through that and through learning how the body speaks a language and how frequency affects our emotions and all of these things that I learned in those years of really healing myself, that's where As She Rises, the brand as we know it today and the live event and everything as we know it today was birthed from. It was from my own transformation. And I love that that's what your summit is all about. Like, I am really confident that As She Rises, the brand was built on, I will forever be in an initiation process with myself, and other women will agree with that. And so we go together. What does it look like to find safety and confidence in our body, activate our truth, our magnetism, our joy, our happiness, our aliveness, as we move through these really fucking intense initiations over and over and over and over again, because that's a whole point of being here on the planet, right? So who am I? I'm KC Volard, and I am part of the initiation, and I lead women through that process, and I'm obsessed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so powerful. And Kundalini, it just feels like, I would love to hear you speak on this, but everything you're talking about, the transformation, I mean, you just described like a death and a rebirth. We're burnt out and crashed to the ground. And it's hard to sometimes see it in the moment. It's almost always hard to see it in the moment, even if you're kind of aware it's happening. But that crashing is it's like the tree falling that creates fertile soil for something new to grow. And it's so cliche, but in those moments of like, this is unsustainable, crash, burn, and then that transformation that happened, it feels like Kundalini as a modality and as an energy, that's almost what the whole thing it's about. It's like that transforming, that recycling energy into other energy. Would you say it's like that? Or how would you describe Kundalini?
Yeah, 100%. Like Kundalini is the craziest shadow work you will ever do. That's the whole point. That literally is what it is. It's shadow work through
That's why it's so uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable. And that's also why people like, it's dangerous. I'm like, oh, for the love of God. Like we could unpack just like that for forever. It is not dangerous. First of all, it is an energy that resides in your body that is put there at the point of conception. Like the moment that you're conceived, your life force energy is put into you. So when you're working with Kundalini energy, you're working with your life force energy. It's not something outside of you. And so when we use these tools to the breath, right? The breath, body postures, positioning, yoga poses, mantras, all sorts of different things that go into Kundalini yoga. When we're using those, it's activating this energy that is the truth of who you are. Like Shakti energy, life force energy, it is the truth of who you are. When your frequency was put into your body at the moment of conception, it had a blueprint. And it basically says, this is who you are. This is your purpose on this planet. This is your strengths. This is your weaknesses. This is your gifts. This is your gold. This is your everything that makes you who you are, right? Mm. So this is infused into us. And then throughout life, we're told that's too much. Don't be like that. That's not right. That's not success. That's not praise. That's not. So we start to disconnect from and repress that energy. Repress it, repress it, repress it. Well, what is one of the most powerful things ever, ever, ever? A woman who knows her truth. A woman who knows her power. A woman who's like, fuck all the rules. I'm going to live my life and I'm going to go my path and I'm going to teach my little girls how to speak their truth. And it's, you know what I mean? So something that is powerful like that, of course, now it's dangerous. Of course it's wrong. Right. So when we start to work with this energy, what it's doing is it courses through our body and it starts to cleanse out and purge all the old stories, the old programming, the things that are not ours. So fear and doubt and lack and scarcity, it's clearing it out. And sometimes when we're clearing things out, we have to look at them, not repress them, not run from them. We have to look at them. So Kundalini, that is why it allows for really rapid transformation, and we have to learn how to sit with it.
Yeah, that is so powerful. And it really helps to make it tangible, because people say that and we hear that, you know, sit with the emotion, experience the emotion. And until we really get that, it's like, what do you mean? Right. So Kundalini actually kind of just makes you, unless you're going to press stop in the middle of the track or whatever, you got to get through that. And it like encourages, for me anyway, it's like it pushes me to the edge. Some of those poses and mantras and the breath, it just pushes me to the edge where I'm like, I don't want to, but moving through that resistance to the other side, I get into the pocket of like, okay, the next high of like, I've got this, or whatever I'm doing. Right. So it's amazing how it actually teaches you that strength and that resilience within the practice.
Yeah. And it can cause waves of everything. Like if you have fear living in your body, it can cause the fear to come to the surface, but it's living in you. It's the fear is in you. The guilt and the shame is in you. The sadness is in you. So we can either process it up and out of the body and close the loop, or you can walk around with it, causing shit in your life, right? And it's affecting the results that you get in your business, in your relationships, as a parent, as, you know, anything that you're trying to manifest into your life. It's going to cause distortion when you've got that, you know, density hanging out in your field. So when we practice that Kundalini, it allows us to close those loops. And I've also had the experience of like extreme euphoria, like orgasmic sensation that it can cause as well. So really the full spectrum of human emotion that we're meant to feel, every emotion, the saddest of sad and the highest of highs, it will allow you to experience all of those feelings.
Yeah, that's really powerful. I definitely have found that. And it's, you know, you introduced me. I mean, I'd heard about it, but thinking it's more like yoga, and then got into one of your 22-day challenges. And I was like, this is not the same as yoga. I'm like, oh, I've got this. I do yoga. This is very different. Even though it's called Kundalini yoga, it's not the traditional flow yoga that a lot of us know, but combining the power of the breath and the energy, it's so powerful. So moving into kind of this Shakti place, and I want to tie it into transformation and even business and being seen. But there's this shift that feels like that happens as entrepreneurs, as humans, when we're going through this death and rebirth. And it's almost like I experience it like a grit, where I kind of get this like F it. Like I'd rather be hated for what I am than loved for what I'm not. Like I'm going for it. Or, which, how do we know if we don't try? And I get this kind of life force and then this confidence behind it. And it's hard to put into words, but I'd almost like to hear in your experience as you are activating more of your Shakti and what people start to notice as they are, turning that on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's a two-part thing, right? It's like, I know myself deeper than I ever have. Like it's a remembrance is what it is without sounding like, Chat GPT or some crazy shit. It is literally just remembering the truth of who you are. And there's those aha moments where you're like, oh yeah, like I love that about myself. I love this feeling. I love this part of my personality. This feels authentic to me. It feels like truth to me. And there's power behind that, right? Like when you're talking to somebody who really knows their shit and they're confident in what they're saying, you can feel it, right? And so it's almost like that starts to happen in the conversation with yourself, where you remember those parts of yourself, like, I love this and I want to be seen in this and it feels so good. And there is that power behind it. And twofold, people don't like it. People get triggered. Everyone who benefits from you playing small, you hiding, people get triggered by your boldness and something they want to be bold on, and you did it and they can't, and they get all weird. So now we're also playing with this. Like I have to set boundaries in places that I never have before. And I have to have hard conversations. And there is going to be people who don't like it. The people who benefit from me playing small are going to get really offended when I stop doing it. Right. So Shakti energy to me is just knowing yourself so deeply that you don't waver no matter what. And we don't go back to being the way that we were because it was easy to people please. Easy to perform. And we continue on the path of choosing me no matter what, choosing me over and over and over and over and over and over again, no matter what. And when we are doing that, choosing ourselves over again, the nervous system also does register that as unsafety, because it is unsafe to be seen, or, an old familiarity of just playing small because that is what was safe. So growth and transformation, like Kundalini, apart from connecting you back to the truth of who you are, it's connecting you to that truth while rewiring the nervous system to say it is actually also safe to be in this identity. That's where your power comes from. So it's not just like, sitting with a new identity and who I want to be. And now I have some Zespa and I'm going to go get it. It's really having the regulation behind it too, to say, no matter what, like, it got me no matter what.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's like this Shakti energy. I love that. The truth of who you are. It makes you stand up. It makes you know your boundaries, go for shit, feel more confident in yourself. It's like that through line instead of just trying to replace thoughts or just trying to do this one action. It's like, I'm just seeing like the power from the inside, the sparkle from the inside, which leads to that outward expression of giving less fucks, how palatable you are, or, keeping people, pleasing people and staying vanilla, whatever. And then of course, how that translates into business. And I'd love to hear when you see people, activating that, how does that translate into how we show up, how we stand up, how our business basically morphs and transforms from there.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's the most magnetic thing that we have. Your Shakti energy, your life force energy, it is incredibly magnetic. It is charismatic, right? Like when you walk into a room, you can feel a woman who has her Shakti dialed up. There's just something about her that, makes her magnetic. And when it comes to business, this is kind of a twofold thing. And I'll talk about meridians in a second. But magnetism is everything in business, whether it's social media, it's attracting money, it's attracting opportunities, bringing in more clients, your work, your body of work and what you do, landing on the perfect person at the perfect time. That's an emotional, an electrical charge. Right? Like it is. That's what we call it, attracting clients. So when you have your magnetism working for you, truth of who I am, I know myself incredibly well, what lights me up, what my gifts are, what my zone of genius is, the things that make me feel more alive than ever. I package that and I put some of my magnetism to it and I put it out online. Well, that's how we make a feminine energetics business work. every time. Yes. So a little bit strategic, but the energy behind it is everything. Now, okay, how deep do I want to go into this? We have 12 main meridians that run through our body. This comes from Chinese medicine. So if you've ever had acupuncture or acupressure, same meridians that you're working with. So these meridians that run through your body are directly reflected into a business, because a business is an extension of you and your heart and your gifts and your knowledge and your wisdom and all the things. Yes. So when we have blocks in our body, in our system, when we have blocks in our myofascial tissue that runs all over our body, it's like it puts kinks in these hoses of these meridians that run through our body. And so when you have blocks in the body, it reflects into the business. These different meridians have elements that run through them. So we have water, metal, fire, wood, and earth that actually run through these. And they affect every dynamic inside of your business. Every dynamic. So your creativity, that spark of inspiration, ideation, the vision, right? Taking that vision, turning it into something tangible. Your follow through, get up and go, self-leadership, self-ownership, magnetism, being seen, visibility, going big, launching, sales, clients coming in, right? Delivery on the things that you said you were going to deliver on, your capacity, your wealth capacity, building a community, and then refinement, scaling your business. We have to let go of stuff in order to bring new stuff in. What's working, what's not. Knowing myself as a leader and a CEO better and better and better at every stage of business. Yeah. So if every one of those aspects make up a business, your business is not one big vacuum. There's many different things that are at play. So if you have meridians in your body that are blocked and those elements are becoming imbalanced, it's going to show up in your business. And so I see things like writer's block, or I can't follow through on anything. I start all these projects and then I don't complete them, or I'm doing everything. I'm so exhausted and there's no clients coming in or no money. Or I keep having my, 20K months and then I self-sabotage and I go back down to nothing. I start from scratch. All of these different things that we think are strategy problems are usually meridian blocks in the body. So why does this matter with Kundalini? When you practice Kundalini, it puts pressure on different parts of the body using postures, poses, and the breath to unblock and unkink those meridians so energy can flow properly. And when we fix it in the body, it will fix itself in your business, which is an extension of who you are.
Absolutely. Holy man. I love the way you describe that. And I just can see the aura too, right? And how it's what you're talking about. It's like blockages in the body translate to blockages in the meridians. You free up these meridians, the energy, and then your aura is brighter, bigger, clearer, more magnetic. And that just makes so much sense. And I love explaining it like that. Instead of just, you should practice Kundalini. This is why. This is like the power that it has. And you are that living embodiment of that, the way that you've turned on your own energy and been that expression. I'd love to talk for a second about when we turn on this Shakti, because, everybody listening, we are self-led, we are taking action, we're doing the thing. We've been through a lot of healing, growth work, and it is this piece now of expression and expansion. And a lot of people have businesses. Some people listening don't, but it's that same process of really turning it on, really turning it up, knowing, as you touched on, you're worthy of this and having boundaries and being expressed. And I want to talk about, you touched on how it won't always be palatable to people and how people won't always love it, receive it, whatever. I want to zoom in on that a little bit, because you talk about the audacity to shine, the audacity to do something wacky and wild, the audacity to be, a visionary. And I just want to bring that together and some words about that process.
Yeah, totally. So number one, find your people. Like, there's millions of people on the planet. If the 5 that you've been hanging out with don't support you, stop fucking hanging out with them. Go find your people. And truly come over to the Yad Shiraz's community, because we are best freaking community on the planet. Like truly, truly, truly. So many of the women that you will hear from on this summit have come from this community. Like they're just so loving and so nourishing, and we have your back and we will cheer you on. There's no vision too big, no goal too big. You're not crazy, but also we both crazy. So we be crazy together. It's good. Find your people and let them love you really, really hard. So that's the get into the community. And women, it's really interesting because our nervous systems as women are actually wired differently than men. So the way that the male nervous system is wired, it's actually wired to fight. That's the whole fucking point. They're very logical minded. They're very narrow focused on things. And the women's nervous system, it ends at our cervix. Men don't have a cervix. So anatomically, it's completely different. And our nervous system is wired for community and connection and co-regulation. Men co-regulate themselves by release of energy. It's like a lot of energetic output. Women, it's not. Our nervous system is wired for connection and community. And so when we talk about nervous system work, I'm sure you've heard from lots of people about the body and nervous system regulation and all the things. Community is the best thing for your body, no matter what regulation tools you're using. So come into community, find your people. And in order to be able to do that, we've got to heal the part of us that people pleases, the part of us that feels like I don't belong in community, sister wounds, right? All of those different things. And so building a successful business, the twofold thing that I really had to do was get right with my own sister wounds. And that's something huge that we do at As She Rises Live, is work on sister wounds in real life, in real community, in rooms with powerful women. Because it is the most triggering experience. And when you can be in it and you can find safety in it, you will rewire thousands of years of repressed feminine connection in an hour in that room. But I think that's the biggest thing, honestly, is find the people who are going to celebrate you.
Yeah. And not everyone, you've got your people who celebrate and lift you up and see you. And, I always say to my husband, like, we just work because my weirdness matches his weirdness. And that's the part. It's like, you got to find your weird ass crew that support your wacky and wild dreams and your down days and your doubts. And then your dream, like it's all of it. Right. And I think that fawning behavior, it's funny because fawning has been coming up more as far as really looking at how this comes out in all of us. And I'm sure in women, and it's that people pleasing, maybe dimming to not want to stand out too much, ruffle feathers. And especially something like online, I'd love to hear you speak to that for a second, that when we do show up as who we are, when we do turn on that weirdness or that sparkle or whatever it is, that is actually where we start to attract people, but that can really get in the way in business. Do you find that with your clients?
Totally. Yeah. And PS, that's a meridian thing. That's fawning and people pleasing and playing small. Like those are all meridian things. We clean them up in the body and they stop fucking with your energy and everything that you're doing. Yeah. So many people think that they can just override that. Like I'm a recovering people pleaser. I'm not going to do it anymore. Okay. So every time your body says you're actually unsafe in a scenario, what are you going to do? The automatic response, so subconscious, you don't even know that you're doing it, is people please. And how many times have you people pleased or done something and it's not like 10 minutes later that you're like, why did I do that? Why did I react that way? You know what I mean? So it's that automatic that you don't know what you're doing when you're doing it. So meridian work, extremely important. And the thing that I have said, and I will say it again, is that I would far rather be loved by a few people for who I really am than liked by a lot of people for who I am not. And there were a lot of years that I spent putting myself into a box and chameleoning myself into an identity that I knew people would like. It was palatable. It was accepted. It was, all of these things. And I was loved, or I was liked. I was liked by a lot of people. a lot of people online. I was thriving, right? I was liked by a lot of people, but the truth is it wasn't even who I was. So even the admiration or the praise or the love, quote unquote, the love that I was getting from these people, it was not fulfilling the part of me that needs love. And so you're left empty. Yeah. When you're liked, you are left empty. And so I had to liberate myself and know that I probably won't be liked because I'm not palatable. But when I am loved by the few people who really know me for who I am, like I'm so liberated, unhinged. I don't give a fuck anymore. Like my social media, I'm like, I will say all the things, I will post all the things. It is unfiltered. Like I'm just having a blast and it is my art. If you're there because you want to be there. And when you say, I love you, I feel it and I receive that. And to me, that's everything.
That's so powerful. I just saw this image of like, as you're talking about, you know, we're trying to maybe please or, you know, wanting to be liked by a lot of people. And that transformation you went through, letting go of that, it's like this Shakti energy replaces that. It's like I see like the people pleasing meridian work, all that as it clears, it's like that Shakti energy pushes it out to almost go like, I don't fucking care. Like now what you think of me is irrelevant. That's a you thing. I'm going to shine. And it just feels like it replaces that need to be liked with pure unconditional love and life force energy within yourself, which means you're going to be fine if they unsubscribe or, you know, something goes up or down. It's just this whole energy shift, which is so different.
Yeah. And sitting with what your body is saying to you. I think you were saying earlier that you had some people on here talking about, you know, parts work and different things, which I also in my master level certification, I teach somatic internal family systems, which is parts work. Parts work and Kundalini go beautifully together, by the way. So while you're doing this work and it feels more radiant, more liberated, more alive, and you're sharing, you know, those parts of yourself that are coming online, you still have to sit with the parts of you that do feel uncomfortable. So it is that duality. And instead of running from it, not doing what I know that I have to do, it's feeling that feeling, you know, feeling the feeling of, I'm really disappointed right now. I feel really sad right now. I feel really triggered right now. And that's okay because I'm human and I'm allowed to feel human feelings.
Yeah.
Bringing the fucking humanity back into it, you guys, and for you and anybody who's listening and for myself, like we've got to bring the humanity back into healing too. There's no point where you're so fucking liberated and so set free that you don't feel human feelings anymore. And so when you kind of learn to, we were talking about this earlier before we hopped on here, when you start to befriend the curiosity of, what is my body trying to tell me? Why do I feel uncomfortable? And just being with that, that's the real transformation.
Yeah, absolutely. Instead of running from it, trying to fix it. You know, I noticed that in business, you put something out, not as many people sign up as you wanted. You can either then anxiously try to fix it and plan it and, you know, numb, bolt, whatever, or we kind of just breathe through that disappointment. As you're saying right now, I feel disappointed. Okay. And something I do in business is I go, there could be a million reasons that didn't land, other than I'm a failure or that I should quit or that I'm not good enough. Like it could literally be the title of it. It could be the price point. It could be, did I really put much effort into promoting it? It could be a million things other than Talia sucks. So let's start thinking a little bit differently, because I used to do that so many years. It was all like, oh, it's all me. And, you know, this whole awakening and the Shakti and the energy, it just makes you unfuckable with. And I love that you're pointing to this and living it, breathing it, because you've been your ups and downs. You've burnt Instagrams to the ground and started up other things and, you know, closed things, open things. And you need to have that unshakable energy to get through that. And also, you know, of course, to teach your clients the same thing. So this is just so powerful. And as we start to wrap up, I'd just love to hear like what's left unsaid. What do you feel that you want to say in regards to a true transformation, the whole cycle, and using this Kundalini Shakti energy as you go through that transformation?
Yeah. I think honestly, what's coming through the most intense right now is just that we are transitioning. We are going through a transition and a transformation as a global collective and a global community right now. And it's this, I don't know if you feel this too, but this is probably the most ungrounded, because I can't control it, transformation I've ever been forced to go through with AI, with the infiltration of, like ChatGPT and authenticity, what's real, what's not. And I think as humans, really sensitive humans and women who are emotionally so attuned, and because we desire that connection, everything that's happening right now, it feels like we're in a tornado. Like it feels very ungrounded. I don't know if you feel that way, but it's like when we don't know what's real and we don't know what's authentic, and we are being forced to transform and experience life in a different way, I think it is now more important than ever that you are using these types of tools to stay first in your body, connected with your truth, what is real for you. And we are craving human connection more than ever. So if you are someone who is creating social media, you are a coach, you are a healer, the more you and authentic you can be, the further along you are going to get. Because one thing that, the world of AI cannot take from us is the texture of the real human. Your quirks, you're weird, you're silly, you're too much. Your hair is too red, your lips are too small, your bum is too big. Like, I don't know. All of these things just make us so human. More of that shit, please. So transformation, as the world is going through this transformation, I think it is just a really big permission slip that if you did not feel liberated in your self-expression as all of yourself before, now is the time, because the more real and raw and weird and authentic you are with your dimply, pimply skin and, like your quirks and the way that I talk too much, it just shows humanity. And I think that's what we're craving now more than ever.
Yeah, it's so true. I love that you're saying that as a business mentor and teacher and guide. It's like in business strategy, it's just everything is that glossed over, give me the reel that's going to go viral. So then the hook is like this very blah, blah, blah. But we're craving that I love when I see someone without a filter, or I love when I see someone like acting weird and like not just sexy and attractive and everything polished. It's like we are craving that, like you say. And for anyone that's listening and knee deep in KC's energy, but doesn't have the business, translate that to your real life. When you're going for the job, when you're out dating, when you're just out in life, being you is the key. And it's almost like the truth that never changes, is you are meant to be you. And I love that, we're entering this where there's more people talking about this, even though, as you say, with AI, everything's changing. It's crazy. But at the same time, as you're saying, that is the connection. That's what we're craving. It's the realness. And there are those of us who are probably drinking out of mason jars and wearing Birkenstocks or whatever that get this. It's about real, right? Real, and be you. And I just love that.
Yeah, totally. And I'm not knocking AI. I mean, I think it's badass. As a mom of 3, I'm like, yeah, you can fucking make me a meal plan and organize my whole life. Like, what I mean? Like, work smarter, not harder. I'm not against it. And we are just craving such a new level of like fun. And if it feels robotic, and this is with anything in your life, but really in your business, if it feels robotic, stop doing it, because that is the energy that will change everything. Remove how you become robotic in the way that you're doing things, and everything will shift.
I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah. Is there any tangible practices that you can offer right now? Of course, I'm going to get everybody into your world. And if you're still running your Kundalini challenges in the future, like, you need to do that. But from right here, is there something we can do and practice to get this Shakti energy going?
Yeah. You know what? Because it's hard. If this is audio, it's going to be really, really hard. So the action step is come over into my DMs right now. And I want you to write transformation. Like, I found you from the transformation podcast from the summit. Tell me that you came from the summit, and I will send you a 3-minute practice. It will be video format so that they can practice along, and then they can try it from there. Yes, that's going to be the best thing, because we've got to try this stuff on. And something tangible that you can do right now. If you are a business owner, just go back to your last 10 posts. Go back to your last 10 posts and ask yourself honestly, truly, and wholly, how, scale of 0 to 10, how connected to the truth of who I really am behind closed doors when I'm fully in my weird, I'm fully in my silly, in my sass, in my total liberated energy, 0 to 10, where am I at right now? Because that's going to tell you what people are reading into in your energy inside your business. And I promise, if we can just get 2% better on the who are you really part, everything will start to shift.
Thank you so much. I love that. So powerful. I know that there's going to be a lot of people resonating with this. And you have a free gift for us. So let us know about this free gift for the community.
Yeah. So of course, if people are like, what is Kundalini? I need to practice this whole thing. I do have a Kundalini membership, of course. So Catalyst membership is my monthly membership. Inside of there, we've got full length classes. It's a full Kundalini library. There's 3 to 11 minute practices. There's a library of full length energetic resets. It's like an hour long overhaul of your system. I do live Kundalini classes in there every month. And then I also do business mentorship, hot seat coaching calls, micro business trainings, everything. Normally only $97 a month. So it's crazy value for what's actually inside of it. But we're going to give you guys a free 2-week trial. So you can come in, try it on, come practice Kundalini with me, and it's going to be fun. So I hope I get to see you all there.
Yay. Thank you so much. I will put that in the show notes. If you're part of the insider circle, it's already in your inbox. That is so generous. Thank you so much, KC, for this conversation. And where can we send people? Where's the best place to find you online for everyone that's vibing and wants to follow along?
Yeah, I'm playing a lot on Instagram. Instagram is, well, if you're new here, you haven't heard the news, but like a couple months ago, my Facebook and my Instagram with like 15,000 followers both got shut down. So I'm out here raw dogging life on social media. I'm in the rebuild, the rebirth and the rebuild on the first day of the fire horse, like February 17th. I literally woke up and all my social media was gone. So I'm like, oh my God, my identity. It's like old identity being stripped. Then I went to fly home from Costa Rica and my passport had molded and it ate my photo right off my passport. So anyways, that was a tangent, overshare, but it was like my identity disappeared overnight. It was very wild. So
that is wild. That fucking fire horse.
Crazy. And that is another story for another day, but like, what if that's not a sign from God to just total rebirth? Who do you want to be in this era? Like, I don't know what is. So anyways, please come and follow along. I am KC Volard on Instagram because that's all I got for you right now.
I love that so much. I hear you. What do they say? Like sometimes God or life does what you're not brave enough to do, whatever that whole thing is. It happens.
It was so wild. I was like, I am listening. I have no choice to listen and I am listening.
Yeah. Amazing. Use my tools. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. This has been an incredible conversation. I thank you so much for your generosity, everything you shared. And yeah, it's just been the best.
Yeah. Time with you is always just such a pleasure.
Thank you for tuning in to the True Transformation Summit. Make sure to take what this guest said, implement it into your life, check the show notes for their gift and to follow along on the journey, and make sure to tune in to the next guest episode. Namaste.